welcome back to part 2 of Ask the King for July 28th, 2011. Another entire page of questions, so let's get into it. Next question. Phil, have you ever heard of video bumping? It's a way to put your videos back up on people's sub boxes, even if they're old, by utilizing YouTube glitches. That way you can actually get more exposure, but content from other users is basically constantly on the bottom. What do you think about this? I think it's just another reason to not use my sub box, and that's from Dodver76. Yeah, this is the problem with YouTube, and I find this more and more, and I've actually found out that a lot of the top people on YouTube really only got there because they found all these glitches on YouTube. Yeah, that's right. A lot of the most popular people on YouTube, sure, they may do some entertaining stuff, but they found ways to abuse the system to either, for example, show up as the only video in your sub box or the top video in your sub box all the time, or on the main page of YouTube they would mistag their videos and say, like, for example, if it was a comedy video, they would tag it as educational. And of course, you know, think about it, a funny video versus an educational video, obviously the funny video, especially if it goes viral, gets more views. So if you tag it as educational, it'll show up in the top viewed educational section and it gets on the front page every single day. I actually found this out, that a lot of the top YouTubers are doing this. Not only have they been doing it, that's how they got so popular, and that's how they're making so much money and getting so many views, because now they have the viewer base from being on the main page every single day. It's funny, because whenever I get a video on the main page of YouTube, it gets gigantic. The video about Bill S.978 got on the front page of YouTube, became massive. I remember when I played Batman Arkham Asylum, the demo for that game, Part 2 of the demo, for whatever reason, got to the main page of YouTube, one of the biggest viewed videos ever on my original Dark Side Phil channel. So it seems like if you can find a way to get it there, it becomes huge. Now, I don't abuse the system, as you know. I don't at all. I don't use any of the exploits. I don't do contests that abuse YouTube. I don't do anything like that. I want to succeed on my own merits. That's the kind of person that I am. So if people want to watch my videos, they'll watch them, they'll spread the word, and by word of mouth or whatever, I've become popular. Now, I'm not huge, I'm not Ray William Johnson by any fucking means, but I at least have very, you know, I'm happy with what I'm getting on my videos. I would love for it to be blown up, but I'm not going to take measures to try to do that, okay? Now, the reason I'm really addressing this question is because some people have been asking me personally in the past month. They've been sending me messages saying, Phil, are you video bumping? Because for some reason your videos seem to be #1 in my box. I shouldn't have said box, because that could be mistaken. In my subscriptions box. I don't even know how to video bump. Let me put it that way. I have no idea how to do it. I didn't even know about it until people started messaging me about it this past month. What I think is happening is I put out so many videos a day. You know, I put out anywhere from 10 to 30 videos a day, that my videos are probably going to be at the top of your box because I probably have the most recent video. And you know, I'm sorry that that's how YouTube works, and I'm sorry that that's unfortunately the problem with their subscription system, and that's why I said previously, I don't recommend anyone tries to follow my content through your subscriptions box. I really don't, because the subscriptions box has so many problems. #1, a lot of the times videos don't show up. #2, they don't show up in the right order. #3, there's video bumping that abuses that and screws it all up. There's really no reason to use the subscriptions box on YouTube. It's been bugged forever. It's really been bugged for like a year. People have been complaining to me about problems with it. If you like my content, I recommend that you go to my website, thekingofhate.com. On the main page, it's a great menu. You're going to see my most recent video in a preview. You're going to see all the most recent videos from DSPGaming listed, and then you're going to see all the most recent videos from DSP Street Fighter listed. So for the most part, all the important content is going to be listed on that main page. That's what I recommend you do. Because again, subscriptions are just not very reliable. They have 100 problems. But as for video bumping specifically, no, I've never done it. I don't know how to do it. And again, I don't use these methods to blow up my videos or overinflate views on my videos. I never have, and I never will. And it's sad. It really is sad that people need to do that, because what that means is, #1, their content wasn't good enough to be viewed enough, and so they have to take means to get more views. #2, they don't value your time, because what they're saying is, fuck you, I'm going to shove myself down your throat, and you're going to like it. So that's not fair to you as a viewer. You should have equal opportunity to see all the videos that you're subscribed to, not just, you know, the ones that people want to fucking bump. And number 3, those people are greedy. They are insanely greedy. They will go through any means to get on top. It's kind of like just in the business world where people stomp on other people's backs to get to the top of the business ladder and don't care about who gets hurt to get there. Those are the kind of people that are doing video bumping. So just know that. If anyone you've ever watched, if you found out that they video bump, that's the kind of person they are. You might want to think twice about following them. But the other thing is, a lot of people always ask me, Phil, why do you have so few subs? Right now I have over 76 million views, total views, video views, on my channel DSPGaming. I only opened that channel in April of last year, so in just over a year, 76 million views. Compare that to other popular people, for example, and I'm going to say machinima partners. There are a lot of machinima partners who have like 100, 200, 300,000 subscriptions, and not even close to my number of views. Some of them have like 20 million views total, and they've had channels open for 5 years, okay? The reason is, the real reason that I have so few subscribers is because YouTube's subscriber box is bugged and doesn't fucking work, and it's annoying the way that it works. A lot of people, and I'm not exaggerating, over the years I've been working on YouTube, I've gotten so many messages from people saying, Phil, I really like your content, I really enjoy it, but I can't subscribe to you, because when I subscribe to you, YouTube's fucking subscription box is a piece of shit, and yes, you upload, say, 15 to 30 videos a day, that's all I can see, because it floods my box with your videos, and everything else gets jumbled and pushed, and I can't see anyone else's videos. So I will continue to follow your stuff, I'll continue to watch your videos, but I can't subscribe to you, because YouTube's functionality sucks. That's why I have so few subscriptions. I know a lot of people are like, wow, I can't believe Phil only has, 83,000 subscriptions, but he has 76 million fucking views. That doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't. It's because people just are watching my stuff, but they're not subscribing because YouTube's functionality is fucking balls. Now, if YouTube ever gets their fucking act together and fixes the problems, maybe I'll get more subscriptions, but you know how fast YouTube is to react. I've been here for 3 years on YouTube, and the site still sucks. Anyway, let's get back on topic here. Let's see. Okay, this question is actually from a Brazilian fan, and he says, hey Phil, you said in one of your videos that console-exclusive fighting game characters such as Kratos and the PlayStation 3 version of Mortal Kombat 9 are banned from tournament play. What about DLC characters? They seem to be the same kind of deal, since you have to choose if you want to play with or against them, and you have to pay to download those characters. I'm from Brazil, and I play MK9 on the PS3. Now, I didn't download any of the new DLC characters, and even with the compatibility pack, I got to play just a few matches against them. Then last week I decided to enter a tournament, and I didn't stand a chance against a player who was using Kenshi because I didn't know half the moves that he used, and I didn't know what was going on. Should DLC characters be banned from tournaments? Or are there certain conditions or rules to use them? And that's actually from Julio. Very interesting question. And this ties in with another common question that I've gotten from many people about how do I feel about the 4th DLC character in Mortal Kombat 9 being announced that it's Freddy Krueger. That's right, it's not any classic Mortal Kombat character returning, it's actually Freddy Krueger from horror movie fame. Well, you want my really honest opinion? I don't like the fact that any characters are DLC content at all. In my opinion, if you pay $60 for a game, you should get the whole fucking game, okay? And if that means, that the game gets delayed 3 more months, then you should get delayed 3 more months and get 5 more characters, okay? Perfect example. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Frank West, who has now been announced as a character who's going to be in Ultimate MVC3, he was actually in MVC3. He was in the game, but during the playtest phase, they found that for some reason there were certain moves of his that were slowing the game down, and sometimes he actually crashed the game. So what did they do? They fucking took him out of the game and released it without him, instead of fixing the problems and then having the game come out later. That's right, they're actually doing this with games now. They're saying, oh, fuck it, we want to get it out in February, push it out in February, and we'll fucking just do DLC later. And it's ridiculous because as a consumer, we shouldn't have to stand up for it. I'm paying $60, or whatever the cost is in your country, of your hard-earned money for a complete game, and in a lot of cases, you're not getting one. And yeah, so when you're talking about the DLC characters for MK9, do you want my honest opinion? In my honest opinion, no, they shouldn't be allowed in tournament play. Because it's not fair that one guy paid $60 for supposed to be a full game, and then another guy paid $80 and got 4 more characters, and now he's better than you because he knows these characters. It just doesn't make sense. And in my opinion, there shouldn't be any DLC characters for a charge. They should all be included in the game, or they should be free downloads so that it's an even playing field for everyone. And it's just not fair. It's not. Now, on the flip side of this, if you're going to do more characters, you should do a new release of the game, meaning Ultimate MVC3. It's going to be a new release, and so it's not like people who are playing MVC3 enter a tournament and have a disadvantage because someone's using Ghost Rider. No, because it's a completely different game. That, I think, at least, is acceptable in a tournament setting because it's a completely different release. It's considered a different version of the game. But if you're just going to release characters like with MVC3, Jill and Shuma Garath, it's not fair. It's not fair to people who either can't afford it or just don't want to play with the DLC characters for whatever reason. Another major problem that people are finding is that all these patches, all this DLC content, when you're in a tournament setting, a lot of the times, some of this content doesn't work if you're not connected to the internet, which I think is absurd, but it's absolutely true. Some patches for games like MK9 and Marvel 3 don't work properly if you're not connected to the internet. And in addition to that, not everyone has all this stuff. So if you're at a tournament and, you know, okay, we need 5 PS3s. Okay, so I bring mine, and mine has the DLC content. But then I ask 3 of my friends to bring some PlayStation 3s with me, or with them, so that we can play this tournament. Maybe they don't have the games. Maybe they're just donating their PS3s. Now you're in a fucking shitload of trouble because some consoles have the characters, some consoles don't have the characters, some consoles are patched, some aren't patched. It's a complete and utter fucking nightmare. Okay? It was so much easier back in the day when you would have to buy a new disc to play a new version of a game. Because then you just buy the disc, put it in, and everyone has the same version of the game. So, I really don't believe in DLC characters. I think it's complete and utter bullshit, and I don't think they should exist. As of Freddy Krueger in MK9, again, as a DLC character, I think it's bullshit. I don't think that there should be DLC characters. But I like Freddy Krueger. I am a fan of the movies, Nightmare on Elm Street series, and I think it's neat that he's finally in a game. I think it's about time because, I mean, we've had how many games of this kind of horror nature, goriness, and we haven't had any of these guys in a game. A lot of people are complaining, saying, oh, well, this isn't fair, you know, you should have had another classic Mortal Kombat character in the game. I understand if you're an MK purist that that's a problem, but get over it. Don't download them then. Really, like, then just don't play with them. They wanted to put something neat in there. Obviously, it's a cash-in. They're trying to make money. Yeah, that's what these companies try to do. They try to make money. That's how they stay in business. So, I understand why they did it. I personally think it's neat that he's in the game. I don't think he should be played in tournaments, but that's just my opinion. Okay. So now we've talked all about DLC characters. People want to know what are my thoughts on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. A couple common questions are, for example, how do I feel about this being announced so soon to the game of original Marvel 3 just being released in February? That's a valid question. Another common question was, well, how do you feel about being disc only? Meaning, you actually have to go to the store and buy another disc. It's not a DLC like Arcade Edition was for Super Street Fighter 4. I think I've already addressed the disc issue. I actually like the fact that it's a disc. I think it's gonna suck if you have to pay another, say, 40 or 50 bucks to buy it. I don't know if a price point has been announced yet. I'll tell you this, I'm not paying $60 for it. That's fucking bullshit. So it has to be a cheaper price, because it's the same game with some tweaks and new characters. Just like they did with Super Street Fighter 4, they have to do the same here with Ultimate MVC3. But I like the fact it's a disc release. It solves a lot of these compatibility problems for everyone. But how do I feel about it being announced only 6 months after the original, and how do I feel about what they're saying? Well, first of all, they're saying they're adding 12 new characters. Well, actually, no. They're adding characters who some of which were in the original game, like I said, Frank West, who they took out because they couldn't fix the bugs in time for the release window that they wanted to release the game in. I like the fact that Capcom is responding and saying that there needs to be gameplay tweaks. Now, if you remember, a couple months ago, there was a compatibility patch that came out, and what happened was they tweaked the gameplay. They made Sentinel's life significantly less because people were complaining that Sentinel was too powerful. He had super armor and he had way too much life. And because of that, he was one of the best characters in the game. I like the fact that they're trying, but I dislike the fact that, once again, they seem to consult the wrong fucking people. They're nerfing characters like Tron-Bonne and Hagar. Tron-Bonne and Hagar aren't even considered the top tier of the game, and they're not winning tournaments anywhere in the world, but these are the characters that they're nerfing. They're not nerfing, you know, they are nerfing Wolverine, and he does need to be nerfed in my opinion. He is one of the best, but where are the nerfs for the characters that are winning every fucking tournament? Like, I don't understand their mentality here. What they really need to do is stop bullshitting around with, oh, we need to nerf an overpowered character, and realize the whole game needs to be nerfed because characters shouldn't be allowed to kill you with one fucking combo. And that's the problem with Marvel 3 right now. The reason that the majority of people who are tournament level players at Marvel vs. Capcom 2 actually don't play Marvel 3 right now. And the reason is because the game literally is now a one-hit kill game. You get hit once, that character will lose 100% life because the combo system in that game is too easy, too high damage, and it's like a touch of death. You get touched once, that character's gone. And then in some cases, depending on who you're playing with, there's actually situations where when your next character comes in, you can actually mix them up and try to hit them once, and then they die. So it really can become just instant death. Like, think about that. A fighting game, that's instant death. Now, it's not instant, but it really is pretty much death guaranteed if you get hit. And it makes no sense. Why do we have a fighting game like that, and why do people like it? That's not competitive. That's stupid. That's, oh, who can get the first hit? I win. You know? Might as well fucking flip a coin. It's stupid as hell. So I don't understand why people think that this game is so good. It really isn't. And at first when the game came out, people didn't know about these massive 100% combos, and so it wasn't that bad. The first couple months there, February, March, when you were at Winter Brawl, when you were at Final Round, those tournaments were really hype around the game. Now, honestly, it's really become a spectator game, meaning the players just play it because they feel like they look good playing it and they can win money, and they really don't like the game that much, but they play it. And the spectators like it more because it's so flashy, you know, oh, he killed him with one hit, it turned into a 100% combo with 300 hits, and oh, he activated X Factor, what an amazing comeback. It really is like a spectator sport. It's really not made for players. It's not. And that's what they should be addressing with Ultimate MVC3. They should turn it back into a game that's worthy to be a competitive game. Right now, it's not. From someone who's been playing Street Fighter for 20 years and has been in the tournament scene that long, that game's not a tournament viable game. But right now, it's one of the biggest games because spectators love watching it. I feel if they just tweak it a little bit to fix that, make the damage scaling like it was in Marvel 2, so 99% of the time you don't lose 100% life and then the entire game's over, then it would be a better game. But that's my opinion on Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. On Ultimate Marvel 3. I only have a little bit of time left, so I'm going to get through some questions pretty quickly. A lot of people want to know about my feelings about Mega Man Legends 3 being canceled. Now, quick backstory. Mega Man Legends 3 was announced to be a Nintendo 3DS title. It was up on the Capcom Unity forums. There was a big development section of the forum, supposedly, where they wanted fans to contribute and say, what would you like to see in this game? What kind of things, you know, they really wanted to get fan opinion. And after several months of fans posting up there, all of a sudden it was announced at San Diego Comic-Con that Mega Man Legends 3 is canceled, and then they actually went on to blame the fans. They said, we didn't feel that there was enough fan demand or fan interaction for what we wanted to do with the game, so we canceled it. And this is coming hot off the heels of them also canceling Mega Man Generations, which was going to be another really cool Mega Man game where you could play as different characters and things. That's been canceled. So 2 Mega Man games within 6 months have been canceled, and now people are wondering, will there ever even be another Mega Man game? Will they make Mega Man 11? Or is this it? It's the end of Mega Man? And then, to boot, as like the extra kick in the ass, then they announced Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So basically Capcom saying, we're going to make a fighting game and then release a sequel within 6 months, but fuck Mega Man, he doesn't deserve anything. So a lot of people feel like it's a spit in their face, to kick in the ass, like they're being disrespected as Mega Man fans. Why does Capcom now seem to be cashing in, and they're all about money and making these little improvements to fighting games and making more money off of it rather than worrying about one of their greatest IPs? And I kind of understand that. Unfortunately, that's business. And Capcom, really, when you think about it, until Street Fighter 4 came out, they were starting to get into a slump. Resident Evil was starting to slow down. A lot of people didn't really like Resident Evil 5. What other major IPs did they have, you know? They were trying it with Lost Planet and stuff like that, and those games were starting to lose acclaim. So they really needed to do something, and so now they've realized fighters are what we do well. Fighters are always what they've done well, and so they're going back to that formula. And I fully expect that for the next couple of years you will see Capcom completely focused on fighting games, and then just like it did in the 90s and early 2000s, the market will get oversaturated, the fad will run out, the games will start to die out again, and then Capcom will go back to focus on other stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much. I don't think Mega Man's going to die. I just think he's on the shelf for now. A lot of people are asking me about Team Fortress 2. As you know, I have a server for Team Fortress 2 that is actually maintained by Beachy, who is one of the moderators of my website, pt2. And I played on it a couple times, a couple months ago when I first got it, and unfortunately since then, I just haven't had time to play it. I've been so busy with other releases and other games and things going on, I just have not had time to play it. And unfortunately, I apologize, but the server is still active, and there's information about it on thekingofhate.com. If you want to go over there and check it out, you can find out all about it, the IP to get on it and whatever. It's a 32-man server. It runs 24/7. And I apologize that I haven't had a chance to do it. If I have some downtime, I'll try, but right now, like the downtime that I have in August, I've already pretty much have ideas of what I want to do then, so I'm sorry. We'll see what happens. I do want to play it, but that's what happens when this is a job, you know. You get caught up in different things, and you have to follow them through. Some people have asked me about how do I feel about Battlefield 3 now officially being announced that it's going to be better on the PC because it's going to have bigger multiplayer maps, more players on each map. Definitely it's going to have better graphics, and the answer is we kind of knew that already. We knew that PC gaming for FPS games is better for the most part, and it was announced from the get-go that Battlefield 3 was going to be a better game on PC, and it is what it is. I mean, sure, maybe I'm not upset because I have a gaming PC now and I know I can play it on PC and I'll get the advantages, but you have to understand that when you play on console, you are sacrificing those things. You're getting a cheaper version of a gaming system as opposed to buying a gaming rig PC, and so you have to compromise. You're going to have scaled down graphics, you're going to have not as big multiplayer so that you can play with a bigger audience. It's that simple. So I'm not really upset about it, and I kind of understood that. Holy shit, and I will be playing that on PC. Now I have 4 quick Twitter questions to answer here, and then we'll wrap it up. First one's from Gaming Feud, and he says, "Hey DSP, what do you think of the Nintendo dropping the price of the 3DS to only $169? Now keep in mind, the 3DS started out, I believe, at $250. Now they're going to drop it $90 in price. And I say, no shit, it's a no-brainer, because despite what you've been hearing in the gaming media, it's bullshit. The 3DS is not a big seller. The 3DS launch, it actually sold significantly less than the original Nintendo DS launch. Now think about that. How long ago the Nintendo DS was launched, okay? And now you're talking, I don't know, what is it, like 6 years later? The sequel comes out, and it didn't even sell as much as the DS did upon launch, okay? Basically, gamers said, we don't see any good games for this damn thing, and we have no reason to buy it right now. That's really what happened. The only people who really bought it were people who never had a handheld system before, or people who never had a DS before, that's for sure. Anyone who has a DS really had no reason to buy the 3DS. Or people who are just those first adopters, people who can't help themselves. They have to have what's new as soon as it's new. So Nintendo freaked out, and they said, oh shit, we didn't sell nearly as many as we thought we were going to. I guess maybe technology doesn't necessarily sell the system. We actually have to make games for it, and so they're going to drop the price. It's a no-brainer. Will I buy one? Eventually I will buy one when there's games out for it that I want. Right now, there's still no fucking games out for it that I want to play, so there's no reason for me to buy one. But if a Zelda game comes out for it, and I'm not talking about Ocarina of Time that everyone's fucking played already, I'm talking a new Zelda game. I'm talking the new Kid Icarus game that's coming out. Those are the games that'll sell the system, not remakes of fucking Nintendo 64 games. The cover story of Nintendo Power this month is Star Fox 64 3D. I fucking played that game in the 90s. I don't want to play it again in fucking 3D. It's a complete waste of time and a complete waste of money. And if you have a 3DS, you shouldn't buy it. So you can show Nintendo you want new quality games, not fucking remakes. We're tired of remakes. Okay. Next question is from Cycle Runner. He says, how many hours on average do you spend each day on gaming related things? Gameplay, oh god, I'm out of time, so I have to hurry. Gameplay itself, I usually spend anywhere, the least I usually spend on gameplay is like 3 hours. The most I'll spend, like yesterday, I spent almost 12 hours. But when you're saying game related, you have to understand, I also have to upload the videos, I have to tag all the videos, I have to put the videos in playlists. So I'm really spending a shitload of time every day doing it. Next question from Voodoo9. How come you don't play sports games like NHL or FIFA? And the answer is because sports games don't have a story. I really play games that have a story from start to finish. Yeah, every once in a while I'll do multiplayer and that doesn't have a story, but for the most part my playthroughs are commentary on the gameplay, but also the story and things that are going on in the game. Does anyone really want to see me sit and play through a fucking season of NHL? Does anyone want to see me play matches of that online? It's sports. If you want to see sports, you can go watch the sport. You don't have to watch someone simulating the sport, okay? The last question from Ciceridin Fatis. Sorry, I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, but if seriously faced with the Catherine situation, aka the plot, how would you respond? I would fucking check myself into the mental hospital, because if I was fucking a girl like that and I couldn't remember it every night, I know I've got problems. That's it for this episode. That's it for this episode of Ask the King. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next month. And remember, if you have questions, go to thekingep.com and post them up in the forum thread. Thanks.